Right, Dr. Golly. So this came through, this offer of an interview with yourself, Dr. Golly, and I jumped at it. I jumped at the chance because, yeah, I'm about to become a dad in July. So this was perfect for me because you've been looking into the fact that dads could potentially be the answer to sleepless nights, yes?
That's exactly right. And it's the assumption is when you're talking about a nuclear family, mum, dad, baby, um, most people will assume that it is the mum, especially if they're breastfeeding, that will do most of the work day and especially through the night. But it absolutely shouldn't be the case. And we've seen not just anecdotally with my patients, but also more and more data coming out every day that shows the benefits. And I'm just trying to turn the volume up on this conversation and make more and more people aware of it. And your stage is actually perfect because we want people to be learning about this prior to the sleep deprivation starting.
Yeah. Now, everyone has told me about the sleep deprivation, and everyone's like, oh, it's amazing having a baby, excited. Yeah, really excited. They're like, oh, you'll never sleep again. So it's, this is what everyone keeps warning me about before we get into it, which is, I guess, actually the sleep thing is probably one of the most worrying things. Now, I'm okay on not much sleep. My wife is dreadful. If she doesn't have like a good solid 8 hours a night, she's awful. So I don't know who, I think she's dreading it even more than me, to be honest.
Look, it doesn't have to be. It's not something that should be dreaded, and it saddens me that that is the approach. But you're 100% right. That's how a lot of people approach it, and
Yeah.
and unfortunately, when you do go and tell someone that you're expecting, they may say congratulations, but then there is a raise of the eyebrows and a comment, well-meaning, that sort of says you'll never sleep again, as you said. But it absolutely doesn't have to be that way. And even if you are listening in and you've got a 3-month-old or even a 3-year-old, you can turn the tide rapidly within a couple of nights, but absolutely by far the easiest way to have the entire family sleeping is to start on the right foot and get it happening with a good rhythm and a good routine from day one.
Okay, so what is the key then, Dr. Golly? Because obviously I know you've been doing this research into dads as well, and I've been chatting to my wife, and we've said, look, obviously we want to try and breastfeed if it's possible for at least the start of our baby's journey in life. And we've sort of said, if she can express, then I can help out with night feeds and stuff. And we've already talked about this, and I'm more on board with that. But what's the best way to go about it then? Or, as I say, if someone is out there with a newborn on the way, we'll do that first. And then we'll talk about the people who have already got kids, because I know there's a lot of people who listen with kids as well.
Well, there are a number of pieces of the puzzle to get a baby to sleep well, to be settled when they are awake, and obviously sleep and stitch together their sleep cycles when they're meant to be sleeping. So the first thing is to have the right expectations. So you can't come into this and expect a 2-week-old baby to sleep through the night. That's the first thing. So having the right expectations. And for me, my targets in the program that we offer is essentially for a 6-week-old baby who weighs more than 5 kilograms to be sleeping through the night, to have no feeds overnight. So that's 7 straight hours of sleep at 6 weeks of age. And then moving forward, when we're sort of talking solids and we're moving out of that newborn phase, I want a baby of 5 months to be sleeping 12 hours straight through the night.
Wow.
And that's not getting up to resettle them. That's simply sleeping through, self-settling when you put them down, and then resettling themselves. So those are my targets, and that's where perspective is important. So I always recommend that you have the right expectations. Then there are 2 parts to it. Number one is setting up the perfect environment, both within the baby and in the baby's environment. So you need obviously to have a baby that's well fed. So we need to address any milk supply issues if it's a breastfed baby, or formula. It has to be the right formula. You have to look at what's in mum's diet and remove any of those hurdles that might be in the way. And then you've got to look at the sleep environment. Is the room completely blacked out? Is there a decent amount of background noise? It's not too silent. Is it not too hot, too cold? Some of these things are very obvious to people, and others are a little bit curveball. Something that many people don't appreciate is that you have to swaddle a baby really, really firmly. And if the baby, you can tell me when you've had ultrasounds looking at your unborn child, are the hands up in front of the face or are the hands down by the waist?
Well, I think on the last one, which was the 20-week scan or whatever, I think it was actually waving with one hand.
Yeah, so that's a beautiful thing to recognize. And what that tells you is that your child will want to be swaddled with their arms up.
Oh, right. Okay.
Because that's the position that baby is used to. And if you have a baby who's had their arms up around their face waving to you for the last few months, and then all of a sudden you strap them down like a straitjacket and they're by their waist, that baby's going to be very uncomfortable and less likely to settle. What you need to do is you need to give the baby the feeling of being back in the womb. Yeah. Because right now, your child is at the most comfortable they will ever be in their entire life.
Yeah.
The most comfortable, the least anxious. And everything we do when we settle babies is designed to take them back to that feeling. So what is a swaddle? A swaddle represents being cooped up in a tiny, tiny womb without much space. What is rocking a baby? That represents the movement of a pregnant mother. Why do we pat babies? That reminds the child of the mother's heartbeat against their spine for 9 months.
Oh, wow.
Why do we shush them? Shushing is white noise. That's what things sound like when you're underwater, which is exactly what babies are. So anything you can do to return a baby to the feeling of a womb is going to settle them. The next thing is about, and arguably just as important, is about removing hurdles. So for me in practice, and what I see by far the most common reason for a baby not being settled or feeding frequently, not able to get into a routine, is that they're not being winded enough. That is absolutely without question the most important piece of the puzzle. Then you've got to look for other things that are specific to your baby. It might be, for example, eczema. This baby might have untreated or undertreated eczema, and they might be intolerably itchy, and you cannot sleep if you have that going on. So there are many things to consider, but what I'm trying to do effectively is make you the expert as the parent, is empower you as the parent to be able to say, I don't need to read that book, or I don't need to listen to a well-meaning grandparent who swears they have the solution. I know what my child needs. I can read their signs, I can interpret them, and then I can deliver, and we all get to benefit from it.
I'm just learning so much here, Daniel, because I've started reading a few little books along the way, as I say, but this is great. I don't care if anyone else benefits from this from listening. It's really helped me. And you, as you said that. So Dad is, because I think sometimes going into this, obviously, I've started to feel our baby kick the odd times now, which is really nice. Whereas my wife, Katie, feels the baby kick all the time and is building a kind of connection with it. And I think obviously when the baby's born, Dad's there and wants to help. But obviously if the baby's been breastfed, then it's very hard to kind of get in there as well. But you think that dads could be the most important thing to actually getting babies to sleep then?
Absolutely, they are. They are the secret weapon, and there are many reasons for this. And I just want to comment before we go on. When I refer to dads, I'm talking about the non-breastfeeding parent. Families come in all different shapes and sizes. It may be a mum, it may be a carer, a partner, whomever it is. I'm just, for ease of conversation, I'll refer to them as dads.
Yeah, okay.
And the number one reason why they are the secret weapon is simply because, Matt, you don't have breasts.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. No.
Okay.
Yeah. No. I've got moobs, but they don't have the same function as.
It doesn't look
breasts.
like you're lactating.
No, I'm not quite yet. Hopefully, that won't appear. But hey, if it did, it would be handy.
So what that means is essentially no matter what happens, when you hold that baby, you are not going to breastfeed.
Yeah.
So breastfeeding mums are somewhat hamstrung because not only do they have breast milk, you're holding a baby right next to the source of food and you're telling them you can't have it. Mums have also got incredible hormones that are coursing through their veins, beautiful, magnificent hormones that are making milk. And these same hormones are telling this mum to feed the baby.
Yeah.
So you've got a baby who's asking for comfort. You've got a mum who wants to feed because of the hormones going through. You've got the supply right there, easily accessed. Feeding is almost inevitable. Whereas if the baby is picked up by the dad, there's no smell of breast milk. That dad sends a very clear message to that baby: you are not getting fed by me right now. And if the dad can go through a mental checklist of different ways of settling that baby, whether it's trying to get a burp out or changing a nappy, tightening the swaddle, giving them a little bit of movement, a tap, a pat, and then putting them down again, that baby is likely to resettle. And the entire time, that mum has been sleeping. And that mum, by increasing her sleep, is recovering quicker from her pregnancy, from her delivery, whichever way that happened. That mum is replenishing her milk supply in a faster way. So the benefits are clear to the mum. The benefits are clear to the baby. And while some dads may be listening to this thinking, wow, this guy's asking me to, do all the night jobs and then go to work in the morning. But the truth is that you get into a routine so much earlier when the dad is more hands-on, especially through the night, that much faster than if dad was not involved, the entire family unit is sleeping through the night. Much, much faster. So everyone benefits from this.
Brilliant. Great. Well, I shall make sure that I am up and out of bed as much as possible.
And really, there are small things you can do. The first thing that I would tell you, Matt, when you get home from hospital, that bassinet goes on your side of the bed.
Oh, really?
Very simple thing, and very few people think to do it because it's counterintuitive. You've got a breastfeeding mother, of course the baby goes next to the mum. It makes sense, but it absolutely doesn't have to be that way. And just simply by being next to your side of the bed, you are automatically going to succeed in elongating those night sleeps.
Right. Well, I shall take that on board, and come July, I'll be like, right, I know exactly what's happening here, and I'll be back on. I'll be like, Dr. Golly, you've saved our lives. We've slept, and more importantly, my wife has slept, so she doesn't hate me continuously.
Then we move on to the next chapter. That's perfect.
Next chapter, yeah, amazing. Oh, thank you so much for your time today. It's lovely to chat to you, and I mean, it's great to have someone like you on the show, such experience and such knowledge, and I mean, I could chat to you for a good couple of hours just picking your brains about how I'm going to survive come July. But that is a great start, and hugely appreciate it. Thank you.
Oh, it's my absolute pleasure. There's lots and lots of content that I try to put out as often as possible through Instagram, through Dr. Golly, and on the online sleep program as well. So please check it out with pleasure. Enjoy, and best of luck to you and your wife.
Thank you so much. Absolutely, yeah. And Instagram, it's brilliant. If you head over there, Dr. Golly, check it out. As you say, there's loads of great stuff on there. And massively appreciate it. Thank you so much for coming on the show.
Thanks for having me.